what the head does with the message after hearing it. Yeah. So it actually never hears it. Yeah. It's the hearing of it is us. Yeah. And then it claims to be the hearing of it. And then if you've seen a lot of people do it, then you start seeing a pattern. So yeah, they believe that non-duality is going to take care of a lot of symptoms that occur in the relative event. Yes, body and brain and emotionally oriented. And there's just an assumption, well, if I'm not that, yeah, I should be free from the symptoms that seems to have. Yeah. But what's saying that I'm not that is the system. Yeah, it's slick. So now it is in the act of trying to be a non-self as a self, because the only way it can do anything is as a self. So its own uh, when it tries to lose interest in itself, that is interest in self. Yeah. Yeah. So you get this idea that, oh, this message has really worked. And then you go back out. Someone, they drink or they smoke or they do something. And then that memory change is triggered and there's an event. And then what seemed to be traveling lighter gets heavy again. Yeah. And it can be disappointing. It's depressing because just like when I came in AA, I had this one deep emotional groove that would exhibit itself if I met someone I really liked. Yeah. I would get paranoid that something was going to happen, like they were going to use me or leave me or hurt me. And then my head would run this little story, and it was like almost like if you're watching the weather station. It was like a tropical storm, then it was building up momentum, right? You know, category 3, and then 4, and then boom, it would come out, and I'd really fuck up emotionally and just really incredible. And it got very demoralizing because I had done a lot of meditation, I'd done a lot of things, and nothing seemed to put a dent in it. It would just come up totally. I was totally dissipated after it did its thing. Uh, it was just, and it was getting to, had gotten to me. So in the action figure world of, I still have, I'm choosing something. And so I would try to avoid relationships. Yes. And of course, life kept presenting them. Yeah. I wanted to avoid it, but then they would just show up and it would go well. And then at one moment, one day, one thing, the head would suggest something and it would build up. And so here I was, I got sober. And I was hoping that that behavior was cocaine based. Yeah. I had a story that was producing false hope that if I got off of cocaine, this thing wouldn't come up. So I got off of cocaine and it came up, which was very demoralizing. Yeah, because I had a lot of ideas that something will stop if something else stops. And I was wrong quite a lot because some shit has its own momentum. Something can stop somewhere in you, but other things don't listen to that message. They're just still, they have more momentum to burn off. And they call them like deep mental grooves or sanskaras, like in Buddhism. Yeah. They're rooted where they're going to probably stick up their head during your life. And others have different ones. Like people call it the cross they bear or whatever. Yes. And the weight of the cross is a subjective weight. Yeah. Yeah. So a lot of times the like the miracle working that's given to the message disappoints the person because once again gets into a wild like imagination that it's going to make everything great. That's not what it does. It could do anything, but that's not what it's usually doing. It's allowing you to lose interest that in that which wants everything great. Yeah. And that which wants everything great is not facing up to a lot of stuff. And how it not faces up to stuff is hope. Yes. It hopes that even though it's shitty, it's going to get better. And hope has a value. but it also can become a disservice. Yeah, because you're not looking at what's going on. You're just hoping what's going on is going to disappear and it's going to get better. Yeah. But sometimes you got to read your own emails. You got to read the text of your life because something's trying to get to you. And if you don't just jump over and just follow the agitation of the head, you'll learn that you can face life successfully. These things can be not by doing much, unless it's called on to be doing something, but very rarely, very little. It's more a disarming. Yeah. So there's an admittance that you're completely screwed. And there's a hallelujah in that because it's not really the being completely screwed is the problem. It's not accepting that is the problem. Yeah. You're denying it is the problem. If you would accept that you were completely screwed, you may not be shortly thereafter. Yeah. But by avoiding that you're completely screwed, you just keep getting screwed over and over and over again. It just goes on and on and on. So a lot of things that we feel are distasteful and we'd like them to stop visiting us, they're there. They're like a message in a way to get our attention. Yeah. Yeah. So this thing was really a bummer to me that Coke wasn't the cause of all my problems. It was a it was a way I was trying to get relief from the underlying causes because the head is very shallow and very surface and it can't look deep. Not that it doesn't want to, it actually can't. It's not programmed. It's like its telescope can't point that up. Yeah, it can't, it's got a very fixed self-centered view. It's not 360. It's not seeing. And it's almost gets arthritic because it's a program. You would say something that would be AI would be flexible, let's say. It had liquid that allow it to move. Programming isn't like that. Programming is you hit a wall and that's it. Yeah, it can't go any farther. Just like a dog in a certain sense. It has a certain level of understanding, and the dog can't seem to go that past that understanding. It's not bothering the dog. It may bother us that it's not listening to us, but the dog is quite happy, seemingly doing dogging. Yeah, but we have a self-centeredness and a real subjective experience. So heaven and hell are just two options on our little aperture. Yeah. There's no need for a heaven, or there's really no need for a hell. It can make heaven and hell up with the material it has. Yeah. It just makes up, it puts huge weight into things. It makes mountains out of molehills. It can't create anything, but it can make things seem to appear. So, and we have a statement in AA. They used to use a lot of acronyms. There's this one guy had like 800 acronyms. It was great. He's still alive. Someone called me and told me he said hello to me, to this other person. But fear. Yeah. So fear, false evidence appearing real. Okay. So fear is false evidence appearing real. So false evidence obviously couldn't be real. It's false. Yeah, that's its seeming value. It's false, but it's appearing to be real. So false evidence is presented in the head, but it appears to be real to the audience, which is us. It's the audience that gives the yay or the nay to the play. The audience isn't following the play is following the audience without us knowing it. We're the audience. Yeah. So when they talk about witnessing, and a lot of people will say that a witness, I don't believe there's a noun, but the witnessing is sort of like the audience position seeing a play. They're witnessing a play. Yes? Now, the head is engaged in the play. When it says it's witnessing the play, that's part of the play. Yeah, it's an observing of the play. It's not witnessing it because it's observing the play as an actor or a character in the play. It's not observing the play as something. outside. It says it's outside, but it's still an actor of the play. Yeah, because the stage may be bigger than you think. Yeah. So the actor of the play is observing what's going on in the play. The audience is witnessing it. Yes. It's not truly engaged. The audience doesn't become the character in the hour of the play. It may get engaged and everything, but the character doesn't get up and leave. The audience does. Yeah. The audience doesn't lose its sense of what it is by being engaged in the play. Yeah. And neither does the actor. But see, the actor thinks it has a possibility that it doesn't have, that it's truly outside the play, which it ain't. It's part of the play. So when Ramana has the thing about the going to the movies and you're sitting in the guy is sitting in the audience in a a seat watching the movie and he has a recognition that the movie is fake. It's unreal. Yeah. But his seeing that he believes he's real, seeing the unreal. But Ramana said you have to, the circle's much larger. You're you as the seer or the observer is always in the movie. It's not, you're not outside of it. See, this is what the hope is. That which is talking about getting outside of it can't get outside of it. Yeah, it has a dream that it wants to experience its own absence. It can't do that. It's impossible. It's all hope. It can't. You can't get out of what you're not in. And this is an in that you believe you are in, and you're trying to get somewhat out of it. Yeah. You can't get out of what you're not in, and that which is in can't get out of it either. Yeah. So the great news is we don't need to get out of what we're not in. This, which is in, has an incredible desire to get out, and it can't. Yeah. It can't get out. I would shoot up whacks of coke, overdose, you flopping like a fish on the floor, don't pass away. When I came to, cops are there, same old, paramedics shooting me with Narcan before it got popular, bringing me back to what? The play. The actor had great hope it was going to blast itself out of the play, and then the actor was still entrenched in the play and was super pissed. Super pissed. Yeah. And after many attempts of the actor being called my spirit or whatever, it was the actor. Yeah. Trying to get out of the play, uh, I realized I can't get out of the play. Now, that wasn't a clear realization. Yeah. I truly realized that what I'm not can't get out of the play, but I was still calling what I'm not me. So I came to a very clear with an unclear part, which is that I'm never getting out of here. And that was a super bummer. But when I heard the message of non-duality, it corrected that because I had all the evidence. It was just being compiled in a mistaken way. Non-duality like moved some of the papers, put this is much more important than that. Yes. And then I saw, wow, that which I'm not can never get out of it. Wow, fantastic. Because, and the great message is I'm not in it. Yeah. So this is where I saw we're trying to get out of what we're not in, and we're trying to get into what we're not out of. And it was past the point of being convinced. It was a proclamation or a declaration of a convincing. It was just so, yeah. It just so that which wants to get out is what believes it's in. Yeah, I did. I found it once with the a lot of things will take you to certain points, like the Course of Miracles. Yeah, when I finally ran into the Course of Miracle, I had been rubbing against like Buddhism and other stuff, and I had come to some conclusions, and one of them was the body is the big obstacle. Yes, body identification. Yeah, and that seemed to be clear. And so when I was engaged with these people who were really engaged in the Course of Miracles, I went to a lesson in the Course of Miracle, which was, I am not a body. I am free. I am as God created me, something like that. So you're supposed to sit there and just entertain it. Don't turn it into a chant. I'm not a body. Yes, it sounded good. Yeah, very good. Unfortunately, it needed to have some warnings that the Course of Miracle doesn't really come to. It should have a little warning booklet. Yeah. Wow. Because what's going to come up when you're reading the Course of Miracles, you may not address it in the course. Go to this little warning booklet. It will tell you. So, all right. So the body is the obstacle. So, all right, I'm not a body. I'm not a body. And then very shortly thereafter, the point became, it was pointed out to me, the flaw of it, which is the only thing that doesn't want to be a body is a body identification. That's what wants to chant it's not a body is a body. Everything that's not a body knows it's not a body. It's not chanting, I'm not a body. It's very clear it's not a body. It's only us that are that the head in us, this event, takes itself to be the body. It never wants to see what's really going on, so it starts blaming it for the obstacle keeping me from reality or peace. Or if I had better knees, I could have meditated myself into awakening. Or if my ass had more meat, I would have been able to done the 13-hour a day retreat. All this stuff, this fucking body is bothering me. So, all right, I'm not a body. Yeah, but what's chanting that is a body identity. Yeah. The thing that doesn't seem embodied doesn't mean it's spirit. That voice that's talking to you, you don't see it in a body. It seems like it's unembodied, yeah, or it's being projected or played by something, yeah. And then it gets signified as something that it's not, that it's not a body. It's the voice narrative of a body program. And part of the program is not wanting to be a body. So it talks, you don't see, oh, how tall are you? 6'3". But no, there's no dimensions. So there's an assumption it's not like what it's talking about, but it's exactly from the same system. I've taken it far. I can't, I don't, it's just masochism after a while. If life has brought you to a clear understanding, and then there's just trotting over that on and on and on and on, it gets to be another mutated expression. It's like masochism. In a sense, there's a weird enjoyment. Thank God it's not you, but the head enjoys the drama and all the fucking stuff. Yeah, yeah. I don't know what to do with people because a lot of people you meet in AA, they've been uh, presented to AA so much, their idea of AA is part of the problem now. Yeah, they know exactly what to say. They know why everything's not working, but it's not happening. They keep getting loaded. So in a way, when they set off and launch into a big talk about, I think I know what the problem is, I don't want to listen to them because it's just alcoholism. So I just go to a meeting, shut up and get some, and don't talk to me about it. I don't want to hear about alcoholism from you. Just go in, do service, go to the meetings. Yeah, don't say that much right now because it's been drenched. The head has drenched it in the problem. Yeah. So the great news is you're never going to get it. That's the great news. Why? Not that it's wouldn't be good for you, you're not ready for it. No, is because you are it. What an incredible answer. Every other answer would have had some sense of punishment or unworthiness, why you're never going to get it. But the reason why you're never going to get it is you are it. That's the point. The mistake is trying to get it because you are it. You don't realize the head is using what you are to look for what you are, to really emphasize what you're not. That's what it's doing. one of the greatest ways to spend a lifetime emphasizing what you're not is spiritual practices. It can be. You can become a great master of meditation. Yeah, your cheek muscles can sit for 24 hours, and and your knees are like fucking Gumby knees. Yeah, they can sit, your back is super straight, your breath is perfect, and there's a fullness of yourself. Not saying that's what happens, but it's easily can. Yes? So upon having never left, you're not at the airport looking for the destinations and the arrivals and the departures constantly. You haven't left. Yeah. Are you going to take trips? Yes. Why? It's an action figure world. Action figure does shit. That's what it does. It's like an action figure. When you got the toys when you're young, you'd get like G.I. Joe with accompanying action figures who had arms and legs. You'd have them move and act out shit. Well, this is what's going on. So does it take trips? Yeah. And does it arrive a lot of places? Yeah. Does it leave a lot of places? Yes. And then what are you going to say about that upon having never left? What? Wait a minute. So you're not saying you don't arrive, you don't take trips, you don't go here. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying where you're hoping ultimately to land is based on having never left. Yeah. So all the arriving and departing is what the action figure does. It never arrives at where you are because you're already here, and it never departs from where you are because every place you depart from is here. So the here and now overrides the there and then. Yeah. So yeah, you'll move to do this. Hey, this action figure may get 50,000 frequent flyer miles this life. Other people, they just stay in town, go like 38 miles maybe. Yeah. But both underlying basis of the action figure is on having never left. So yeah, have fun arriving in different exotic places. But the greatest non-place you can never leave, which is hallelujah. Yeah, because the head will tell you you can leave. It will profess that it has left. It does a lot of bullshit. But the fact is, you've never not been in this moment because there only this moment. Every piece of furniture that's appearing this moment could be changed, but the basis of a moment doesn't get changed. It is the space and actually the absence of time where you can pull tons of shit in, have a little show, pull back, and you think, oh, that was a different moment than this moment because it had different furniture. But the furniture doesn't make the moment. The moment is the space and the time for the furniture to be noticed and seen. That never changes. You never break that border. You're completely occupied with yesterday, it's happening now. You're completely, incredibly projecting into the future now. There's no escape. Yeah. Action figure, if you get 100,000 miles, you get a around the world trip, but it's only around the world. It's never out of the world. It's always part of the world. And it doesn't seem to travel well, literally. It doesn't for some. And I don't believe the next arrival is going to bring about what you're looking for. I believe what you're looking for can come through you. Yeah. And then things may come to you, but that which you're truly looking for comes through. Yeah. It's in a quality of being of what we're not in. So we're in here, but we yes, and there's another state of being of something else, and I believe the of will come through us and express itself. Yeah, here. Yeah, and when people in recovery say they have a giant hole, yes, this hole of emptiness, and their mental reaction was to fill it with drugs or food and everything like that. To me, this is the opening that the of can come through. That which you think is empty is meant to be empty. so that emptiness can come through in this world of somethingness. Yes, instead of filling it up with tons of shit, just leave it alone. Be still and let, because something may come out. Yeah. Yeah. So just get on the horse again. I was demoralized when I spent 2 years in a program and I really gave it my best. And I thrived in that place, went to college, had a lot of friends because we had nothing else to do but to talk with each other, ran around, they took us to show, after a year, you never left for a while. And then, I got a bike that I could ride to the beach. I had like an hour before, after you got off of work and you had to eat, I'd ride to the beach, Ocean Beach, and then ride back. And it was awesome. I had, in a lot of ways. And I wasn't moved at all to get out, but I didn't want to live in an institution the rest of my life to have that effect be produced. And so I realized they didn't have what I looked for, and I left without much. Uh, I was outmatched as soon as I left. I got loaded, not right away, but tailed into it. And then it was like a slow mo of falling down the stairs of like a action figure life. Had a nice little apartment. Then I was living above a gay bar, with this weird little door. It was strange. Then I was in people's like attic and going in their living rooms, sleeping up there, just keep going, getting worse and worse and worse. And I didn't know every night, I didn't know if I had a place to stay. So I was sleeping in the little parks near the churches off of Franklin Street. I jumped down from a paint store roof wearing the same night clothes. It was it was getting yeah, it wasn't getting it was. Yeah. And had no fucking idea what was going on. Yeah, didn't. And really it was first things first. Before anything else could ever get close to landing in my life, I had to get sober. It was essential here. Nothing, the atmosphere, anything else that would come in would just choke. Yeah, just wouldn't do it. So I got I got struck sober, really. I think something from the of came in and put a stop to it because no human power could do it, like mine included. And then once that got whacked and I got into the habit of it, then I went back to a couple of things was introduced to when I was young, like Buddhism, and it made so much more sense because I had much more room for stuff to come in. And then it motivated me. I remember I read this book, The Ancient Teachings of Buddha or something, by a Western monk in Ceylon. And he was describing the principles of Buddhism. I was sort of getting it. It was really wild. So I started going over to Asia a lot, visiting temples and meeting teachers and sitting sometimes. And I was really on fire with it. I felt. And the idea of self was being presented as this word, anatta, non-self. Yeah. So, like, there is doing, and there is things that are happening, but there's no individual doer thereof. So, if you ever get introduced to Buddhism, they believe in their, let's say, scholarly way that we're made up of skandhas or something, these points. And when these points arise and mix together, consciousness takes, is seemingly born. Yeah. And then a configuration is dreamt, and here we go. And of course, the Four Noble Truths, which is there's a malaise or an underlying irritable restlessness, discontent. Yeah, that sort of haunts most of the action figures. And he says the answer to that is desire. So desire is causing us irritation, agitation. Yes. And then the third would be uh, cessation of that suffering. And then the fourth was the way. the Buddha, right? So when I saw desire, what's the first desire really in time, let's say? And that is the desire to become and unbecome, which the head does. I see. The head believes you're something that it doesn't want to be, and it believes you'd be great if you were something else, let's say. So there's a desire to become and unbecome. I believe that's the original agitation. And desire has its opposite, which is aversion. So you would desire not to see things, and you desire to see things. So there's an aversion to some things. So you want to move towards and then away, and then there's a desire and you want to move towards. This is all dualist. This is the duality dance. Yes. Yeah. So desire has moving towards, attraction, and aversion. Yeah. So this is the movement of the head. So that desire, it desires to unbecome shit it doesn't want to be, that it thinks it is. Yes. And it wants to become stuff that it thinks it isn't. And it's just like a slinky, and it just goes off. And then this giant play occurs and stuff. And most of us are walking around with like a satellite dish at our neck, and just it's just getting K Paul or K Travis, and it's instead of ABC and NBC, it's I me my, just playing all day, and yeah, and walking around hitting each other with the cone edges, like, and motherfucker, pointing at everyone else as the source of our conditions. Uh, of course, this is what it's the prevalence of misdirected attempts to get relief are all the addictions in the world. In hindsight, my first solution to this alcoholism, this obsessive thing about me, was to drink. Gave me a little relief. And then I wanted it to be faster, so immediately went into drugs. And then I wanted it to be as fast as it could be, so I shot drugs. And it was like just went that way. Yeah. Same people do the things with food, sex, whatever. Yeah. It's really that moving towards is a moving away from the discomfort that they seem to be living in. Yeah. So the alarm goes, the dualistic thing, reacts, which is the moving away is only going to be answered. This that I want to move away from is going to be answered by moving towards something. Doesn't understand that's in and of the system. There's no out. There's an in and out, but there's no out of it. Yeah. So you do this, and then when people get sober, they start doing porn or something. It's like this pressure looking for a weak place to leak out. Yeah. And it's being fed so much interest and attention. And it can't lose interest in itself. Self cannot lose interest in self. That's more self interest. Yeah. Non duality to me is the cleanest message that captures the dilemma beautifully and gives you the greatest answer. You're not that. It captures the dilemma of the underlying cause of all addictive movements completely. It's the best answer I've ever heard. Yeah. And therefore, and it leads to a disarming, not another call to arms to march to a cave or a retreat center or something. No, a disarmingness. The shit gets put down. You see the pointlessness of it. You do. I mean, you would see the pointlessness of shooting something that wasn't cocaine. After you shot it with the hope that it was cocaine, after about 10 times, maybe I would hope less, you would realize, I want to shoot cocaine, but this ain't cocaine. And then there would be a stopping, yeah, of that act. Yes, you would. You would hope to. This doesn't work a lot of times. The head just keeps on, keeping on. It says, oh, this is going to be cocaine this time, but it ain't going to be cocaine this time. It's not cocaine. Yeah. So something is not working, and something that's the working of it is that it's not working. So you see the failed system, like the Course said in that one sentence. What can this system of seeing show you? That it's failed. That's the point of it. The value of looking at life and getting a message through eyes that aren't yours is to realize that, is to realize not to destroy the messaging system. You'll just unsubscribe to it. Yeah. Other people, it's far, far out. I'm a missionary to the world. No way. I'm just signing off quietly. I'm not subscribing to it. Yeah. And then something fills the vacuum, and it may be a little more clearer and a little more wiser and a little more good orderly direction than the other fucker. Yeah. But you're going to be moved. You're going to take a you're going to take cues, you're going to be led, you're going to be driven. The action figure is not a it is truly a self-driven car, but the car and the self aren't the same. You have a mental idea of you that separates itself from the physical idea of you, and they're both not you. Yeah. You're not the body, nor are you the one that talks about how it doesn't like to be the body. You're neither of them. They're of the same cloth. You're not of any of that cloth. That's the message of non-duality. Like it or not, I feel it's not two. And there's two in big movements, and there's two in very tiny movements that you can't even notice, which is the dualism of how the head shifts and sees you as the thinker and then sees you as that which is being thought about, on and on, flipping. Yeah. So you're playing, it's a duality. It's a dualism that's hidden by to the sight that's seeing this world as a singular body, but the activity is completely dualistic to the point where people will believe they hate themselves. So there's one aspect that seems to hate the other aspect, and they think it's both of them are them. Neither of it is them. This is the dilemma. They get stuck with both of them are you, and then you're walking around talking to people, I hate myself, or I'm my own worst enemy. That can be a great value because it's blinking really loud when it reaches the level that you believe you hate yourself. I'd hate to have that subjective experience, but it's a beautiful call, yeah, for disarming because it's blinking on and off that the subject, the seeming subject, yeah, is in an act of hating the object. In one field, the body, yes, this believes it could do better than this body. And when the body goes, which it's had to begrudgingly admit, it's going to take off and maybe find a better body or land somewhere else in a Bhutan or somewhere, some different location in here. And it ain't going anywhere. It's not. It's not going to remember when it passes. It won't be there. When you die, you're never going to experience this death. Other people will. Other people will have experienced Paul's death. Paul will not experience Paul's death. The idea of Paul is going to collapse. Yeah. At the moment of death, it's part of what goes out. It doesn't have, it misses its last claiming moment, and death robs it of the claiming of being the one who died, really. And you go out free. Yeah. And it's if that was given a choice, we'd blow it. So it isn't. The movement of claiming, the death will come and cut it off, and the head will not be able to claim your moment of death. And you won't leave on the note that it's you leaving. That will be left behind. It's not fast enough. Though it seems super fast now, at that moment, that last moment of the body representation, I think it's going to be caught unsuspectedly. Like this, it's going to be, the incision is going to be so quick, and it's used to winning all the little things in time, but this one is going to be like the quickest. And before it goes, oh, Paul, you're dying. We have that joke about you've been listening to the thoughts all your life. Yeah. And then at the last moment, you're passing away, and the head says, you really blew it. So the last note you hear is you really blew it. I don't think it won't be able to get out. It's going to be cut so hard. Let's hope. Yeah. Can you imagine that? It's built up the whole story to give you the big bugaboo at the last line of the play. This happened to me once when I was young. I had this girl I really liked, and I took her to Manhattan to watch. They had them play Dracula. Yeah, I think it was Dracula, and they had a guy Frank Langella that played him on the thing, and I was really playing. I planned this. I really liked this lady, and we drove to the city. You got parked the car. There it is, the play. We had great seats. And just before the play started, they said, "Oh, Frank won't be playing the role of Dracula tonight." And I was really bummed out. And then, you know what I mean? And his stand-in was, and the big moment of the play is when he's with this woman Lucy, and he's gonna vampire her. Yeah. And the symbol is he opens up his cape, and she's like sitting or like right in front of him. He's gonna encompass both of them with the cape, and the lock didn't work, or the clasp, and it blew the play, because it was building up and he couldn't get it off. I was so bummed because the music built up, and then, oh, wait, what, somebody? Yeah, so yeah, I have a feeling that's going to happen. I do, because the head is nonchalant. It thinks it's so fast, but it's in time. Yeah. And timelessness is quicker than any bit of time. Even the tiniest bit of time is like slow to no time. Yeah. So when the no time obviously overrides the time you had here, I would think it could be like, and then your little narration gets caught. Oh, there you go. Into the unknown. Fantastic. Wouldn't that be great? You got 80 years of having this balloon with your name on it, trailing behind you all the time. Where is that fucker? And then at the last moment, because it was the heaviest fucking bag you had, it gets cut off for the light trap, the light trip back to the source. You don't need any narration. Yeah. Well, that brought a nice smile to my face. I saw my father pass, and he had a smile on his face when I was young, and I really feel blessed that that happened, because he had been not smiling for years. So having a lot of trouble, and then he was in my bed. I was waking him up for this Sunday lunch. He was upstairs, so I ran upstairs, and then I was looking at him, and he had his hands like this, and his head was this, but he had a nice smile on his face. I hadn't seen him smile in years. And then I didn't know he was gone. I said, "Ma," I yelled at her. My mom came up, and then she knew he was dead. And then I basically was lent what it meant to her, by watching her. Then I was introduced to death, but I was introduced to death through a big smile. So it was very cool. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this narrative will be part of what gets cut. Yes. There's not going to be like an epilogue where the Paul that thought it was spirit goes over the mistakes of the body. No, it's of the appearance. Yeah. It's not going to have any opinion piece. What it was truly like to be Paul. And it's not, the expose of what it was like to be Paul Hedderman. I don't think that's coming. So, well, it's nice to lose interest in it now, so you can just travel a lot lighter. Because what greater what greater mimicking of our true nature than traveling lighter, I feel. Yeah, I think it would be, yeah. I mean, it would be, I don't believe there's a river and then there's all these other things that are going to flow into the river. I believe it's an ocean. And if there are any movements of water, it's in the ocean. And there are different currents, but there's no, yeah, I don't believe it's going to take us a, a nanosecond to depart from what we never were. So, hey, but that was an opinion. If I get start to be, if it hurts a lot, I'm going to ask for that fucking morphine. That's another one. It's triggering all these stories. When I got my head, I did something in the water. It hit my head on the bottom, and I was sober for quite a while, and it shut down my nervous system. So I was paralyzed. And then when I came out of it, they had taken me to the hospital, and I didn't want to use pain med, you know? And they go, and then I had a weird sensation going on. My nerves were coming, but on both shoulders, it was like a spinning heat thing. Nothing was causing it other than, I guess, the nerve trying to refire. And it was really burning, like in my arms. And I said, yeah, I got these sensations going on. And they go, what is it? I say it's like a 5, 4 pain, from 1 to 6. So I said, well, you want any thing? I said, well, give me the smallest shot, thing. They did. I said, bring on the 6. This is not working. Give me the Lollapalooza. There was no, there was no debate. No, it was a good try. Give me the number. Give me the good shit. I'm outmatched completely. So yeah. All right, anyone? Oh, I have the incredible Kuan Yin right over the head. Yes, the Kuan Yin. Yeah. Okay. No, no one. No questions today. Who's running this show? Shannon. Shannon, I have an apology. I was supposed to talk to you about something. I just saw it on one of my message things on WhatsApp. Yeah. I'm sure it already took care of itself, probably.
Yeah, we can. It's about the cloud space, but we can talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
let you
Just
know.
get more cloud space if that's so. Yeah. All right. Mike Clark, anyone? Just say goodbye. Oh, Matthew. Matthew has something. All right, Matt.
Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I was just thinking, Paul, about what you said at the start with the fear and the false evidence appearing real. And I was thinking something I've heard in the rooms over here is the opposite of that, fuck everything and run.
No, that's a subdivision of it. That's a mental reaction to false evidence appearing real, being pointed out. It just says fuck it. You know? Yeah, I wouldn't. Neither of them are. Yeah, no.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to say was, when you were talking about death and, the final thought, you know, not getting the opportunity. Um,
Yeah, I'm just running around with that one. I was.
yeah,
I just
I
took
don't know.
advantage and had some fun in the head.
It provoked a feeling of like fear in me, the fear of death.
It provokes
Um,
that.
And maul his
but it's
opponent
like,
was
is it me
phased.
having the fear or is it self?
Oh, it's the idea of self. Yes,
Yeah.
because it's had this fear the whole time. It knows it never came, so it's so super afraid of going. Yes?
Mm.
It knows its own emptiness. Yeah, that's why it's so anxious all the time. It's 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 presenting itself as something that it's not. It's like, you ever see the movie The Talented Mr. Ripley? Well, this is like the 300th episode. Ripley is crippled with the anxiety of they're going to find out sooner or later. You had 300 episodes, and the talent of Mr. Ripley ain't working anymore. Yeah, yeah. If you don't know, the Mr. Ripley is somebody he was cavorting with. He kills them and he takes their identity because they were in a much better position in life. And he starts presenting himself as this other person. And he seems to get away with it quite a while. And while he's getting away with it, he's in exotic locations like Italy and everything, quite beautiful. And he's, of course, it's getting harder and harder. And this is only with 5 episodes. Could you imagine 60 episodes? So this Mr. Ripley isn't that talented. So it's been living in an anxiety of being caught for quite a while. And when it finally gets caught in a weird way, it throws a big thing, but there's a great aha underneath. There is. When it finally, all right, you got me, it's fucking great. You know how sometimes people who are doing weird shit, they want to get caught. Yeah. It's a strange thing. They want to get caught. They can't seem to stop, but they're like, I want to get off this train. And so they blow it for them. And then, even though they're going to prison, it's like a real great relief. Fuck it, I can finally just yeah. Yeah. So in a sense, the head is it's been a song and dance for quite a while. Yeah, and the scenery can't hold up. If you're two levels above a coconut, you're gonna notice stuff sooner or later. Yeah. And then once you start noticing, you just notice more. And with the right message or right understanding, that proves very valuable when you see the failure of a lot of stuff, even stuff that is called either subtly or crudely you. Yeah. And so there's been avoidance of that day of reckoning because you felt it was going to kill you, which is really the great day of relief. Yeah. But as it gets played out, it's getting exhausted by the song and dance. Yeah. 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 So I think non-duality is the best answer to a lot of, let's say, unanswered questions. You may take up an answer, but it's hollow, it doesn't work. I think non-duality to me was the great convincer. It was the mechanism of being truly convinced. Because, hello? I don't know who that was. Oh, it's Amelia, I guess. Amelia. Yeah, she's driving a lot today. Yeah. So hey, and we have David Lowe and Kathy in Cleveland. Yeah. Get the shotgun's right on the wall. Go out there and see what it is. I'm armed to the teeth here, talking about disarmament. No. Yeah. Oh, so there's a question. Well, get in line. You'll come in third. All right. David Lowe. Who's first, Kathy or David?
Me, I am.
All right, David.
So
There's Amelia. Hey.
So you wouldn't, nobody would bother. They could all come in the house.
Now we saw your lovely top of your head. I saw you running away from. All right, David. Sorry.
yeah, all the cases where people, in near-death experiences, people go up golden tunnels. They talk to God. You got to go back down. This isn't your time yet. All that's in the realm of duality before the cutoff occurs, I guess.
Well, yeah, because that's a near-death experience. That's like a self-driving car. You still have to drive it. So a near-death experience is in the world of experience. Death isn't. Yeah. So I
All the
really,
hallucination.
that
It's like
could be a lot of ways.
it's a
but-
hallucination. It's a hallucination connected with people, the loved ones who passed years ago. They talk to them and everything. It's wow. Just
Well, yeah, this is dreaming. Anything can happen in dreaming. And if a little bit of DMT opens up in your system, yeah, that opens up a lot more shutters and curtains. Yeah. So yeah, yeah. But death, I don't believe is an experience. Yeah. Yeah.
wow.
So yeah. So I have no medical clinical uh evidence to back up what I said. It's just feeling. Yeah. I have died a couple of times, been in a coma once for a while. And I really feel it's like water and oil. A near-death experience doesn't get anywhere close to death. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not distance. Yeah, it's a completely different whatever. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't think this is like a stair. It's living, 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 and then you get to the higher stairs, near death experience, and then there's a door and you open it up. I don't think any stairs lead to death. I don't. I think death is a whole nother thing itself. Yeah. Now the body is left, the body becomes a nuisance for many people. Unless they think they were saintly, they may try to freeze it or they put it in a medically sealed thing and worship it. But it seems like whatever was of importance left, and what obviously was left wasn't that important. It's like leaving your wallet and never looking for it. You left the body. You never, hey, where's my body? You just sit. You'd rather search for a phone longer than the body. You just, where's my body? No. Ah, yeah. I'm much just joking about it. I have no idea what's happening. I do know in the myopic, whatever you think is the panoramic, the thinking of it disqualifies it as the panoramic. Truly. Now, in the panoramic, you see the myopic, but you cannot see the panoramic from the myopic. All you can do is make up ideas, a myopic idea of what you think the panoramic would look like. So all we can do. Yeah. We're always included in our little meanderings. And yeah, so I humbly feel that we have this sense, like certain animals, they have like the cats with their whiskers and stuff. They get a lot of their sense from just those touching, like there's bugs, a lot of bugs. It's like their first legs aren't really legs, they're feelers, yeah, and they're being driven by other legs, and those feelers are giving them all the information that they need. Yes, so obviously in the action figure world, the most dominant gate of conscious contact is vision, and the most convincing. Yeah, that's why I like sound a lot better, because you can't really picture where the sound's coming from. It's vague and you can lose yourself in here. Vision separates, obviously. Yes, because these are the eyes that see the world. I don't want my world to be uh, described to me by the eyes that only see the world. You'd like to see more than the world, wouldn't you? Obviously. So I feel there's a sense of spirit, of let's call it that. And that sense, uh, though the sense is vague, it's very intimate. So it's vague. It's not like, oh, one drop hit me. It's like all of your pores are filled with water, so you don't even know really. Yeah. So if you were completely immersed in something and you weren't pulled out, that wouldn't be an experience. That would be your environment. Yes. You'd be, so this is, I feel, there's a sense of spirit that's isn't in any location or time. It's right here and now. And obviously, if we are here and now, we are of that. And you got to admit, you're here and now. You may call it here Novato and now 1 o'clock, but those are just like icing on another cake that don't matter. The real meat of it is here and now. So like Ramana would say, you can't basically deny that you're not, that you're on. I am, you're awake. Yeah. Yeah. So I feel there's a lot more sensations when you lose interest in being committed to the interpretation of the eyes that see the world, where the Course in Miracles says there's a different vision, let's call it awareness, that will map the world in a different way. You won't have to try to, it just will. It will tell you different stuff. You don't have to, please tell me something. It doesn't, it just sees things differently. Yeah, senses. And I feel when you lose interest in self, which is that focal point that attracts the interest and attention, yeah, and then it's almost like a black hole. The interest and attention gets lost in there. And then it becomes almost like an orbit. Instead of interest and attention, it's like interest and attention, and then like this, yes? And then going back over and over and over, and things that you were interested in and attentive to, and especially this, yeah, where I would think interest and attention would be like breathing. You would breathe out, meet shit, and breathe coming in, and it would be like a circulation, where this is an occupation. It's like an orbiting. Interest, attention, all about me. It's just insane. There's gotta, not that there's gotta be, but there is other options. Yeah. What we try to shop for other options as one of the options. We gotta see that that option isn't us. Or self will be trying to look for self and get out of self, and it'll be all about self, this idea. So that's not us. And then something else can come in, and that's not you either. Yeah. The feeling of spirit, by the time it circulates in here, yeah, has been injected with a body idea. Yeah. So you're still in an I don't know. You really don't know what it's like, but there's a lot of intimation that it ain't like this, I feel. And I don't think it has to be 100% pure, just 50.001% more on one side of the scale than the other. And you'll have a basis of traveling lighter through the rest of your life instead of traveling heavier through today. Yeah. That's how it's working so far. And I'm getting older. It's amazing. I'm not even getting older. I am older. And I hope I keep getting older. That's the only thing I can do now is get older. I'm older. I'm old and I'm going to get old. No, I'm not rushing to get older. And I'm not even rushing to get younger. I'm just whatever. But every day that the body isn't screaming is a great day. Yeah, really. As if it allows me to walk, I'm fucking great. Thank you. Because I don't really have I shouldn't be walking, and it could have been in a lot of ways. So, I'm very, very grateful for all this. And I have really a lot of gratitude just to hang out with all of you. So I think, David Lowe, we're going to move to Kathy, and then we'll move to Hiram, and then we'll move to Jojo. Hey, Mike. How are you, bro?
Hey, Paul.
Hey.
You were talking about.
Hold on. I want to call this. This is Mike's satsang now. We've been waiting for Mike to get here. he has jobs and he can only get here late. So we're extending the time of the satsang. So this is Mike's satsang now. All right.
Okay. You were talking about like the action figure taking trips.
Yes.
You know, will it take trips and everything? And I've been like involved with AA meetings in the UK ever since COVID happened and Zoom happened. You know, so like I've got a lot of what I consider friends in the UK, and I've never been able to afford to go visit them. And I recently came into a little bit of money that would probably, you know, make it possible for me to go there.
Yeah.
And my husband is very like interested in the politics of this country. And he said, "Oh, I don't think that's a good idea because you know, we don't really know what things are going to look like in a couple months, even in a couple weeks. You know, I just don't think you should go." And I was thinking with when you were talking today that, you know, this when the action figure stops being the action figure, it's not going to matter whether I'm in the UK or in Ohio or on a plane over an ocean, and I won't be there anyway, as you said towards the end. You know, when that moment of death occurs, if it were to occur. So, like, I don't see the to me, I don't get his urgency to not travel right now.
Hey, all right, stay there. Yes. Oh yeah.
So
Well, but again, again, in the us, there's compromise also. Yes. If you're living
yeah,
with another person and
right.
but if you really sincerely want to do it, try to present that to him and uh and then maybe you'll have to go by yourself and that becomes okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you.
Extremely, it has to be this or that. If yeah, you know,
Yeah.
not his friends probably, so he doesn't have the motivation that you have.
Right.
So,
Actually, I wasn't even planning that he would go. I was planning to go by myself. Maybe that's
oh,
why he doesn't want me to go.
oh, so all right. So that you had this, you have a good card in the deck and you haven't played it yet. So now by not
Well,
playing, you got an advantage.
you know, I had him listen to you one day, you know, one of the recordings, and he said, "I like that guy." He said, "I agree with like everything he said." So maybe he'll get this if I sort of have this new conversation with him.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah, see what happens. Yeah.
okay. All
Yeah.
right. Well, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome, honey. All right, we have Hiram here. You gotta have to say, I'm gonna have to I don't want to give you the thing, so he'll never come back. No, tell them what's the question.
Oh,
Uh,
the question
Can
is,
you, can they hopefully it doesn't control the voice, only me. No, all right, go.
the question is about negation, because negation can be heard by the head as a sword to cut through illusion or something like that, you know? So like, it seems like every moment something is happening, whatever. And then there is an explanation of the head or a naming or description or all of that. So negation, how I heard it is then just to see that as an object appearing and don't worry about it.
All right. I would change that a little. It's not so much what's happening. What's being negated is the one it's happening to or the one that's doing it. So it's negating, see, like when you see it, yeah. So to me, the negation isn't the act or the thing, the the critiquing or whatever.
Yeah.
It's the one that is implied by the claiming of the critiquing, negating that sense of the one that's doing the negation, the one that's doing the critiquing. So I feel like it has a specific object, a specific target, and it's not everything that's happening. It's like that statement of supposedly Buddha, which is events happen, deeds are done. So an event could be a mental one, as you describe. So after a physical event, a mental event occurs, you go over it. Yeah, so event happens, deeds are done, but there's no individual doer thereof. So it's the negation of the individual doer thereof. That's all. It's not a negation of the event or the reporting of it or the critiquing of it. It's the negation of the one, the idea of the one. Yes, who's doing it, or it's about, or it's done to by it. Yes, that's the target of negation, I feel. It's negation. The other one is neti, not this, not that.
Can you negate what you're not?
By being what you are. It's because you negate it. By being what you are, you see it as what you're not. It's not what you're not trying to negate what you're not. This is when the head gets the message, and now it's what you're not trying to negate what you're not. It's tinny when you hear someone speak from there. It's tinny, it's not working. So no, you're seeing what you're not from what you are. And in that seeing, in that awareness, there's a negation of the assumption of what you're not to be what you are. That's all. Yeah. That's negation. That's how I see it. The other is neti, which is not this, not this, not this, not this, but usually you're left there untouched. So you go not this to everything, but then why not start here? And then you may not have to do the millions of not thises. Just, yeah, that's how I see it. Yeah. So, and it's not the not you negating the not you. That would be affirming the you. See, this is what this happens a lot. That's why there's warnings need to be given with satsang, because the head has a typical way of reacting to the message, and one of them is just that. It now starts trying to negate what it's not as what it's not. Yeah, it's a typical, it shows a lot, really, if you see it. It shows the unworking of the mental logic. So its response to what you're not, yeah, is to try to negate what you're not as what you're not. So it's now claiming to be you as what you're not, negating the not you of what you're not. Yeah. Yeah. So this is the negating of that noun of ownership. Yes. That's how I see it. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So Jojo Silverman. I think you got to ask to unmute, or
Let's see. I think you should be unmuted here.
I don't see him anyway. It's I just see
Yeah,
him.
they should be able to unmute themselves here. Oh, there you go.
I didn't hear my name. Are you asking?
All right, we got you. Yeah.
Sorry about that. Circling back to what you said about the myopic can't see the panoramic. Panoramic can see the myopic. How to me, when I sit in these satsangs, I'm the myopic trying to see the panoramic, right? If it like, how do we negate? It's actually what you just said. How do we negate what we're not with with the part that is not, with the head?
No, you just did it. So you were trying to, you said this statement, and there you are. You saw what you're not, trying to say something. Yeah.
But how does that, I guess, well, to make it more personal, so a year and a half ago or so, I had a, awakening, you can call it whatever you want, but an experience where I was in a lot of discomfort, hitting a wall, health stuff, and then in the middle of the night, and my ego just it just gave up. It just, it just, for that moment and for, a number of hours, it just it stopped trying to fix it. It stopped trying to resist it. And so there was less resistance, there was less trying, and then the narrator stopped. In fact, occasionally the narrator would try to come back and the whole experience would shift. But once the narrator wasn't trying to report every little moment, oh, now this is happening, now this is like this, the self. So you could say I had an experience with where the self, that false self, dropped out.
Yes.
And on one level, I wouldn't have wanted to drive a car in that state at that moment. I was definitely altered, but it also resonated for many months. There was definitely an experience of what I am versus what I'm not, because the what I'm not got a time out for a little bit. So to me, okay, I'll back up a sec. So you talk about the fact that this idea of seeking. I don't feel like I'm seeking. I feel like I'm desiring to drop the part. I'm desiring to negate, but that still becomes the ego wanting relief. And I find I'm in a cycle.
But it doesn't become, it's just implied that it is. So there's a negation, and that act gets claimed by the head, and now it presents it exactly like you just said.
What if the desire for the negation is coming from the self and the ego?
You'll know it. You'll feel it after a while because it's tinny. Yeah. You ever feel like in recovery, there's people that share sometimes, and they're young in the program and they're still fucked. And so it's just hopeful. They try to describe something hopefully will occur as, And then an old timer, when he speaks, he has a lot of timber, a lot of weight to what he says because he's been under the operation for years, and things have changed. Yes. And it just has a different sound. So you will get used to the octave of the head to the spirit playing. Yes.
So how do you induce, in other words, I too believe in the utmost in the value of satsang, and yet I find that how do you I guess my question, and it may be almost rhetorical, but how do you induce the experience of what you are if negating what you're not is only happening on the head level? It's, in other words, we're using our minds to negate. I find with Advaita, for example, or any teaching, it's entering through the mind. So the mind I can understand a lot of what you're saying, and I get off on it, but it's not actually causing an experience like the one I had a year and a half ago, which I didn't do anything to create. So how do we induce that? Or how do we invite it, or whatever?
Well, you don't induce it. See, you just whatever's going on, and then that which is before is going to fill it up. The understanding isn't going to trigger something. The understanding is going to be filled up from an intimacy. And then the wallop of the understanding is the impact of that intimacy. So be careful of getting stuck with the idea of the months that you've had and stuff, because your head has already put it into a glass museum piece. Yeah. And it's going to use it for its own little agenda. You know what I mean?
I
So,
do know what you mean, and I stray from doing that in general, but my point is I had contact with what.
well, you didn't. The contact is always there. Yes. So you had a free sample. And sometimes
But the only reason I had that free sample
Free
is
sample, it takes away the whole pie, the rest of the pie.
Mm,
This is the, it always doesn't feel the way it felt when you were whatever happening. Yes? Especially now when you're trying to feel what it was like. It's already been, it was frozen for a little bit and now you're thawing it out. It's different.
I agree. Yeah.
There's an ordinariness to it. Sometimes the free samples have the biggest bang of it all. When it's ordinary, it's not like it was, because you had such a contrast. You could see a huge difference. When you're in it for a while, there aren't giant differences anymore.
Yeah, yeah, I get that. I guess my inherent the crux of the question is that experience. I mentioned that experience because the part of the self that is constantly doing its thing and therefore trying to obscure and trying to distract from what I am by nature, that part stopped. And it was like, oh, okay, I know what it means when that part stops. I can practice that. That's where that idea of inducing comes from. It's like, so I'm seeking it's like the opposite of seeking, whatever that is.
Yeah,
Like, I
but
want to put it down, not pick anything up.
yeah, but you have something about something has to stop. So that has become a requirement in a weird way. It doesn't have to stop. The sense of what it was like is the basis, really. And that sense of what it's like for those months or something aligned with the experiential level. In most cases, it's not going to stay aligned with that. And the experiential level is going to go into its rotations, its ups and downs, but you're going to have a sense of that underlying condition. Yeah.
And how would you bring that into this group and the satsang? How does that
We do it by
understand
sitting here, hopefully. Yeah.
by sitting here, you said?
Yeah, by
together?
sitting here.
Yeah.
By sitting here together, there's a quality in this world the us has that's different than the you and me have.
Mhm.
Yes. And like we say in recovery, there's a loving power or loving something that expresses itself in our group conscience. This is what satsang is. When it expresses itself in a group's conscience, it may be different than when it's a seeming expression where you're sitting. Yeah. It may have a more of an openness, who knows, but it has it will look like nothing's happening, but a lot can occur. Yeah. So satsang, I feel, is the only methodology to use in because you're not practicing or producing or anything. We're just sitting here sharing and sitting where we are, and a whole lot can happen with us doing nothing. Yeah. So I don't have any intention about it. And I don't really usually, every once in a while, because you run out of wanting to say something, I'll read something, but mostly it's just fulfilling a seat assignment in a lot of ways. But I had many, when something was bookended with something else, that something can seem special. When it becomes the underlying condition, it's ordinary. So the ordinariness is to be awake and present and available. Yeah. That's ordinary, literally. Now, it's nice when the surface matches it, but it doesn't have to. Yeah. And the surface can be doing whatever it is. It doesn't change a fucking thing, literally. Yeah. This is the idea of so you had an experience, let's say, I'm not trying to say what happened, but I'm using it as an example. So the emperor was seen with no clothes, and then you was walking around seeing him with no clothes for a couple of months. It was awesome. Now you may be seeing him with clothes on. but you're not fooled anymore. So the condition that you had with seeing the emperor with no clothes is now a real condition, clothes or no. Yeah. Yeah. And so
You're almost saying that the point is the resonance, that ripple, the cumulative effect of seeing the emperor with no clothes repeatedly, eventually you stop believing and stop focusing and holding and identifying with the clothes
well, with the emperor,
or with the emperor.
yes. Yeah, the clothes you can actually enjoy the clothes. Yeah, and it can be like clown costumes. Really, what we're dealing with here is amazing. It can transfer a news station into a Comedy Central station. So it doesn't matter the clothes of the emperor. The emperor has no clothes. That's the point. Yeah. Now, yeah. So that's how I see it.
Thank you. Yeah,
You get it a little, yeah.
I do. I like the news station concept. You know,
Yeah, and
it's all what's before it when you're watching it.
yes, and the point is just you can see the addiction of experience also. Yeah, because this isn't an experience. The underlying that's which is being pointed to through non-duality is not an experience. It isn't. Yeah. I don't know what it is, but it's not an experience. And the emphasis or your experiential field will start feeling normal, ordinary, very ordinary, because you're not looking for as much as you used to look for through experience. You've just been relieved of to need to have a lot of experiences. Yeah, because a lot of ways you were trying to fill something up through experiences that experiences just don't have the weight or the longevity to fill up. They disappear quickly. Yeah, and then something else fills you up and it's nothing really. So it becomes ordinary, I would say. I mean, I'm not meaning ordinary as a dull thing, ordinary as unbelievable, but it's ordinary. Yeah. And I feel the head is like Sauron looking for the ring. Yeah. It wants bling, it wants to cease, and therefore the ordinariness is a great way for the head to hide it from the head. Great, really. Yeah. So
Can it also go in the other way where the head's not looking for the ring, it's just trying to get out of jail?
well, it's always going to try to get out of jail. It's not you. So you're going to learn, you're going to see the things, the traits of something that you used to have opinions about or emphasis or you wanted to hide. You'll see it. You'll see the emperor with no clothes. Yeah. The head has its programming. It's yeah. It's not. It's changeable to a point, but some things don't change. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Are you coming in the Northeast anytime soon?
No, not right now, I don't think. I'm going to the southeast. I'm going to the where? Southeast. Joshua Tree in January. No, but I'm always going to be in the Northeast as long as I'm alive. I'll be there probably in the spring. We usually go to New Jersey. We were going to do that, but I don't want to go now in October. So we're going to be in New Jersey area, New York, for usually in the spring. We'll always put it up. It'll be on the schedule on the event page. But as long as I'm healthy, I go back east. I have an allegiance to Milestone. What's happened with us in satsang, the Zen Bitsop, is some traditions. There are traditions that we've gotten into a groove. One of them is going back east every year. And others hopefully will be reinvigorated next year, going to Greece or Sicily or Italy. We passed on it this year. Amelia's very busy. So, but yeah. So nice to see you, Jojo. And yeah.
Well,
Yep. Anyone else? I think we'll start saying goodbye then. Mike Clark, my man in Mexico. Yeah. Angelica or Angelica. Yeah. Oh, Angelica. Yeah, see? Matthew, UK. Sober. That's good. Stephen Mack. On having never left. Gary Clark. I'm sorry that Gary did leave. He was here the other day and now he's in Placerville. Nice to see you, brother.
Nice to see you.
I was happy we didn't eat. I had a little more. I had to have the stomach chill out a little longer. Yeah.
Stuff happens.
Johannes. He was been here since the beginning of the Zoom. Nice to see you. Rico Cruz. Man of his word. Kathy. She may be or may not be going to England. Doesn't change anything. Kerry. Nice to see Kerry. Vlad, our man in Portugal. Matt, Chicago. Jamie. Chris Gilmore. Nice to see Chris. He's gotten relieved of being the doorman. He's chilling out. Oh, thank you so much. Annette, always a pleasure. Annette. Yeah. Hope all's well. Good. Paula, Marilyn from Tallahassee.
Excellent satsang today, Paul. Excellent.
Thank you. I have something else to thank for that. Yeah, thank you. Roman Mueller, my main man down there in Germany. Where's the radiator, Roman?
I'm in the Netherlands.
You're in Netherlands?
In the Netherlands, yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
drove into the cold, so
It's a little warmer there. Wow.
no, 500 kilometers to the north. So
Roman, I need you to record some of you when you're laughing and send it to me. So if I'm gonna have a very bad day, I'm gonna listen to Roman for 5 minutes laughing. I'll
glad.
take. Can you imagine having it that easy? No matter how heavy the day you're having, you're so available, you're living so close to the vicinity, you could just listen to Roman laugh for 5 minutes, change the direction. Yeah. If you don't have a stubborn direction, directions can be changed very easily. Very easily. Yeah. All right. Shannon. Yes, we can talk. Just give me a WhatsApp call, honey, or a regular call. Because I'm gonna forget as soon as I get off this this thing. Eric, yes, I got your message, and Amelia will get in touch with you probably. But yeah, we just got a place, and we're gonna rent another house, and then maybe if you want, let me know, and we'll put you up in that place, and we'll tell you how much it will be and stuff. Yeah. Zoe Banks, Our Lady in Japan. Nice to see you, honey. Yeah. David Bitterman. Wow. Mr. B. There he is. He's on the road now. Chris H. It's the season to be cheery. Chris is practicing coming down chimneys. Yes, that's good. Robert Crossman. He's a brother from another mother. I've got a certain sense of something with Crossman. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I should get it expunged out of me or water it. I don't know. We'll see. Eric, nice to see you, my friend. David Lowe, yes. Alan Olson, he has come to peace. I don't see if I can get to anyone else. Can't get to the other page. But hey, thank you so much. We're here. We'll be back. I got a 2-day vacation, Sunday and Monday.